In the last class, we decoded the prelims, the great screening gate that filters lakhs of aspirants down to a few thousand. Today, we walk through that gate and into the stage that actually decides who becomes an officer, the main examination, and the interview that follows it. This is where the real contest lives. If prelims asked, "Do you know enough to be considered?" mains asks a far harder question. Can you think clearly, take a position, and defend it in writing under a ticking clock? So today, we decoded fully the papers and what counts toward your rank, the essay, the 4 general studies papers, the word limits and timing, and the personality test that closes it all. This is the stage worth understanding better than any other. Here is what we will decode today, step by step. First, the fundamental shift from prelims to mains. Second, all the mains papers at a glance and which ones actually count. Third, the essay paper. Fourth, the 4 general studies papers and what each covers. Fifth, the word limits and the clock that govern every answer. And sixth, the interview, the personality test that carries the final marks. Let us begin. Let us begin with the shift, because it is bigger than most beginners expect. And preparing as though mains were just a harder prelims is a serious mistake. The prelims was objective. Every question had one correct option waiting to be ticked, and its only job was to screen you in or out. It tested recognition. Could you pick the right answer from 4? The mains is descriptive. There are no options to choose from. You face a blank page and you write by hand in your own words for hours across several days. And critically, unlike prelims, these marks are not thrown away. They build the rank that decides your service and your future. So the whole nature of the challenge changes. It is no longer about recognizing the right answer, but about producing it, organizing your thoughts, arguing a case, and expressing it clearly and quickly on paper. So the takeaway, mains is a different exam entirely, from ticking boxes to writing arguments, and it demands a different kind of preparation, built around writing from the very beginning. Now let us lay out all the mains papers and separate the ones that build your rank from the ones that merely let you stay in the race. The papers that count for your merit are the essay and the 4 general studies papers, together 1,250 marks of ranking content. This is the heart of the exam and the heart of this course. Almost everything we teach is aimed here. Then there are 2 language papers, one in a chosen Indian language and one in English, that are purely qualifying. You simply have to pass them. The marks add nothing to your rank, so they need attention but not obsession. And separately, there is the optional subject, worth 500 marks. A single subject you choose and study in depth. Because it is so specialized and personal. It is a course of its own, deliberately outside this foundation. So the takeaway, there are 9 papers in all, but the merit you can build here lies in the essay and the 4 general studies papers. So that is exactly where we will pour our energy. Let us start with the paper that intimidates people most and yet rewards preparation most reliably, the essay. In this 3-hour paper, you write 2 full essays on broad themes drawn from society, philosophy, the economy, or governance, and it carries 250 marks, as much as any single general studies paper. It is not a footnote, it is a full merit paper in its own right. And here is the key to it. The essay does not primarily test what facts you know. It tests how you think, whether you can take a large, open theme, see it from many sides, structure a balanced argument, and express it in clear, flowing, mature language. Picture the moment, a blank page, a one-line theme, like courage is not the absence of fear, and 3 hours. A weak candidate empties every fact they know onto the page. A strong one builds an argument that a thoughtful reader would admire. And the good news is that this is a coachable skill, with a bank of practice structures, a habit of quickly jotting points for both sides of a theme, and a ready stock of examples from history and current affairs. Even a nervous writer can learn to fill those 3 hours with a genuinely persuasive essay. So the takeaway, the essay rewards a calm, balanced, well-structured mind, not a crammed one, And that is a skill you can genuinely build with regular, guided practice. Now, the core of mains, the 4 general studies papers, beginning with the first 2. General Studies Paper 1 is, in essence, the story of our society and where it came from. It covers our heritage and culture, the sweep of Indian and world history, geography both physical and human, and the structure of Indian society itself. It is the paper of roots and context. General Studies Paper 2 turns to how we are governed. It covers the constitution and polity, governance and social justice, and India's international relations, the machinery of the state, and its place in the world. If Paper 1 is the society, Paper 2 is the system that runs it. Together, these 2 papers ask you to understand the country deeply, not as a list of facts, but as a living system with a past, a structure, and a role in the world. So the takeaway, Paper 1 is our heritage and society, and Paper 2 is our polity, governance, and the wider world. The 2 together paint the full portrait of the nation you hope to serve. Now, the second pair of general studies papers, and one of them is unlike anything in any other exam in the world. General Studies Paper 3 is the paper of the modern, functioning nation, the economy and agriculture, science and technology, the environment, disaster management, and internal security. It is where current affairs and hard, contemporary challenges come together, so it stays closely tied to the day's headlines. General Studies Paper 4 is the famous one. Ethics, integrity, and aptitude. It does not merely ask what you know, it probes who you are. Through real-world case studies, it places you in difficult situations and asks what you would do and why, testing your values, your judgment, and your integrity. No other major exam devotes an entire merit paper to ethics, and it exists for a simple reason. The state is about to hand you real power over people's lives, and it wants to know the character of the person wielding it. So the takeaway, Paper 3 is the economy, environment, and security of a modern nation, and Paper 4 uniquely tests your ethics and judgment, because character matters as much as knowledge in an officer. Now the practical mechanics that quietly decide many results. The word limits and the relentless clock. Each general studies paper gives you 20 questions to answer in 3 hours for 250 marks. And the questions come in 2 sizes. The 10-mark questions answered in about 150 words and the 15-mark questions answered in about 250 words. Do the arithmetic and the pressure becomes clear. Do the answers in 180 minutes leaves you roughly 7 minutes per answer, including the thinking. There is no time to draft, agonize, and rewrite. You must plan a structure in your head and commit it to paper cleanly the first time. This is why so many well-read aspirants still fall short here. They know the material, but they cannot shape it and finish it inside the limit, and an unfinished paper simply cannot score. There is a common, avoidable tragedy here. The aspirant who writes 4 beautiful, elaborate answers and leaves 6 questions blank almost always scores below the candidate who wrote 20 tight, adequate ones. In mains, completing the paper is itself a skill, and it often matters more than polishing any single answer to perfection. Now the takeaway, knowing the answer is only half the battle. You must deliver it in the right length and inside the clock, which is precisely why we practice structured, time-bound answer writing from day 1. Once the written papers are done and evaluated, the shortlisted few reach the final stage, the personality test, better known as the interview. It is a face-to-face conversation with a board of experienced members, and it carries 275 marks, a substantial share that can genuinely lift or sink a final rank. It is not a formality tacked onto the end, and it is emphatically not a quiz. The board is not hunting for facts you memorized. They are reading the person in front of them, your awareness of the world, the clarity and honesty of your thinking, your balance under pressure, your integrity, and your composure when you do not know an answer. Think of it as the state meeting the human being behind the mark sheet and asking a quiet question: is this someone we can trust with responsibility over others? So the takeaway? The interview weighs personality, judgment, and composure, not recall. It is where the marks meet the person, and it rewards a calm, honest, well-rounded mind. let us close with how you actually build mains ability, because it is a craft, and crafts are built only by doing. First, right from day one, do not merely read a topic and move on. The moment you learn something, practice turning it into a structured answer. And structure everything you write. A crisp introduction, a body that argues in clear points, and a conclusion that lands every single time until it becomes instinct. Second, tie your answers to current affairs, because mains rarely ask about a concept in a vacuum. It asks about that concept as it lives in today's headlines and real examples. And get your answers evaluated, write, have them reviewed, see your weak spots, and rewrite. That feedback loop is where real improvement happens. None of this is glamorous, and none of it can be crammed in the final month. It is slow, steady skill building, which is exactly why starting early is such an advantage. So the takeaway, treat mains as a writing craft, write early, structure always, link to the present, and rewrite relentlessly. And that is precisely how this course is built to train you. Let us gather the whole class in one breath. Mains is descriptive. The shift is from ticking boxes to writing reasoned arguments by hand. Your merit lives in the essay and 4 general studies papers. The language papers only qualify, and the optional is a separate course. Of the essay, worth 250 marks, test clear and balanced thinking, not memorized facts. The 4 general studies papers span heritage and society, polity and international relations, the economy and security, and ethics. Each paper is 20 questions in 3 hours, 150 and 250 word answers under a tight clock. And the interview, worth 275 marks, weighs your personality, judgment, and composure. Next class, the integrated prelims plus mains study strategy. One idea at a time. That is the mains, decoded. The stage where the exam stops asking what you remember and starts asking how you think. It rewards clarity, balance, and disciplined writing. And every one of those is a skill you can build, starting today. We will train them from your very first subject, so that when the blank page finally arrives, your hand already knows what to do. We will see you in the next class.